Barakateh Hawa, Barakateh Hawa Shai. What you're looking at is a video from the brother GMS Vegas sit downs. I'm not sure, but I don't believe the brother gave his name at the beginning. I've seen the brother around. He's been around for a while. He was part of the GMS LA camp, if I'm not mistaken, and the brother moved out to Vegas. He did a video on more harsh realities for Venezuela that will come to America and the world, and he was reading out of this article that says 72-hour countdown given to Venezuelans as real-life Hunger Games blood sport comes to reality TV. Are human hunting parties next? And as he was going through the lesson, you know, I thought about, because, you know, every once in a while I think about this one particular movie, you know, and the other movies. You know, he mentioned a couple of the movies in his sit down, and pretty much what my sentiment is, which I agree with the brother, you know, with all the stuff that's going on, and then there's a reason. See, I just you know, I'm a little scatterbrained right now. I don't have anything prepared, but I just have a couple of points that I wanted to make based off of the video he did. You know, and the one main thing I wanted to bring out or point out is the fact that the times that we're living in now, you know, the technology is increasing. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. You know, to set the mode right. Book of Daniel 12 and 4. It says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end," the book being the Bible. But now we're at the time of the end, the seals are open. You know, the mysteries are being shown. It says, "Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." And that's what's happening. You know, people are able to go from one continent to another quickly. They don't have to go by boat anymore. They can go by plane or whatever other technology they have. And pretty much the technology, one of the main things on the technology tip is basically the internet. You know, how you're able to see YouTube and you're able to see different social medias, and you're able to see them all around the world. You could post up a video on YouTube or any other social media, and people could view it worldwide. And I was thinking about that movie Running Man, you know, because every once in a while that movie pops up in my head. And as I was listening to the brother, you know, I'll say, you know, they have these live feeds now, you know, and the live feeds that they have now are, you know, supposed to be for news and different things. You know, we do live feeds ourselves, you know, to teach brothers out there that are watching and learning. But then also those live feeds could also be used, as they were in the movie The Running Man, you know, to broadcast certain games, you know, to the people out there. Like they also did that in the movie Hunger Games. You know, they broadcasted a hunt for people, you know, poor people, running through the jungles or running through forests or whatever, being chased by other people, trying to kill each other just to get some type of status or some type of reward so that they can feed themselves and their families. You know, and that could become a harsh reality, you know, come this devil Trump getting into office. And I started, you know, looking on online, just typing in certain things on Running Man, and, you know, trying to see if I can find something along those lines. And I came across this article here, which is called hashtag Donald Trump, how the Running Man could be reality with President Trump, dated November 15, 2016. And this is from Movie Pilot. Okay. And I was like, all right, okay, let me see what this guy got to say. Here's a guy here, Rowdy BW, writer at creators.com or .co. And it says the future of, it says, do you remember in the 80s, there were a series of movies that portrayed a future world where our moral compass had lost its direction? A society characterized by oppression, violence, and totalitarian control that seemed so far-fetched that it was viewed as fantasy, right? Now, what that brings to mind, see, because the catalyst, you know, the catapult to all this wickedness and these different philosophies that are being pushed around the world stem back to America. You know, that's what the scriptures call America the great whore. You know, this is Revelation 17:1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. So pretty much what John was viewing was the destruction of America. Now the reason why it calls it the great whore is because here it is, America has this philosophy where it makes all nations, creeds, and tongues pull away from the laws and from the customs that were given to them by their forefathers, and makes them to join to the customs of America, you know, democracy and other things of that nature. You know, that's why you look around the world and you see people around the world doing the things that would normally be done here in America. The nations leaving their customs, their religion, their laws, and clinging on to America's laws, statutes, commandments, philosophies, so on and so forth. But I'm gonna go back to this, but let me go here to the book of First Maccabees, and Esau's the one that's doing this. This is First Maccabees 1. I believe it starts at 40 or 41. Bear with me 1 second. All right, 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. Now, this was an attempt. I'm not going to say the first attempt, because it wasn't the first attempt, but it was an attempt by Esau to set up a one world government where all peoples, nations, and tongues would be under the authority of the Greeks, and they would be Hellenized and follow the Hellenistic laws, customs, and statutes that they had put back then. Now, when you fast forward that till today, being December 18th, I believe it is, 2016, almost into 2017, this same thing is being done, but it's being done by the American government, pushing out their philosophies and their customs and their way of thinking and their way of life to the people out in the world, so that they can bring them into one and bring them into a controlled environment whereby they can put everybody in slavery and microchip everybody, you know. And they show you different movies, Minority Report. There was another movie by Total Recall, the old one in the 80s with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the new one with this guy Colin Farrell, you know. So they're showing you, you know, on all levels that this is what they're trying to bring in. They're trying to bring in this one world government, this one world order, and it goes all the way back to the beginning of time, when they tried that. But the so-called white man, the Edomites, beginning with the Greeks, they've been really trying to push that, because the Romans wanted a one world government, a one world order, you know, all the way until today. But they're not going to get it, because a one world government that's coming is a government of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, which is Yahushai's kingdom, and we being joint heirs with him. And that's going to be the new world order. That's going to be what's going to be established upon the earth, because it's going to be established in righteousness and true holiness, without no wiggle room for wickedness to appear, you know. It says, and everyone should leave his laws. See, and this is what they're doing here in America. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath. You know, for the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. And that's what's happening right now. These devils are going around the world, and they're manipulating these different governments and these different leaders of the governments, paying them off so that they can conform to the American ways. It says, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars, so on and so forth. You know, basically to give credence and to give homage to the gods of these other nations. Similar to what I believe that was Nebuchadnezzar or Darius, if I'm not mistaken, one of the two, that did the same thing. You know, they set up a law to where at such and such a time, when you hear the music, the cornet and the dulcimer and the flute and all that, everybody who had to stop what they were doing and bow down and worship the image that they set up. But, you know, the real men of the Lord, the elect, didn't bow down to that. That's why the Lord told Elijah how he had reserved 7,000 men that have not bowed the knee to Baal. So there's going to be a certain amount of men that are part of the elect that are not going to bow down to this madness. All right. So going back to Revelation 17, it says, It says, matter of fact, I read it again. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of a fornication. And that's what's happening. All these nations are collectively following the ways, the customs, and the imagery, so to speak, of America. So that's why America is known as a great harlot. So when I kept reading on in this article, because I didn't remember, at the beginning of the movie they give you like the text of what's taking place in that particular time frame, and this was written in 1987. Come to find out that the year that they said these things were going to go down was the year 2017, 20 years after the date where the movie was released. It says, well, now it's 2016. Donald Trump has won the U.S. presidency, and the plot for the Running Man looks scarily more realistic than ever. The future, according to the Running Man. Now, I'm going to play some of this. I'll probably play the whole thing, the whole trailer. Check it out.
In the year 2017, an innocent man accused of a crime has a choice. Hard time or prime time.
Sensational. Perfect contestant. I want him.
He must pay or play the Running Man.
On your mark.
I'll be back.
Go!
The highest rated TV show in history.
Guess they want us to stay.
It's a game between life and death.
Give you a lift?
Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Running Man. He's playing for a prize. The prize is his life.
How about the life?
The Running Man.
Now that's heavy. Let me just get this real quick. I'm gonna hold this on deck while I make another point. Now you notice it said that that it took place in what, 2017, and that's that's the time we're in right now. We're at the end of 2016, about to go into 2017, and then there's another. Like when you go to the let me see, Running Man opening text. Right here, opening text. And they're only going to give you so much of it, but when you read it, you can pause it. But this is one of the main ones. It says, by 2017, the world economy has collapsed, and that's what's happening right now. You see, world economy going the way of the the Deutschmark, from the Weimar Republic. You see it happening in Venezuela, as the brother brought out, and as Apostle Tar had brought this out Saturday, that the denomination of the $100 bill in Venezuela is no longer valid. So it says, by 2017, the world economy has collapsed. Food, natural resources, and oil are in short supply. A police state divided into paramilitary zones rules with an iron hand. And there's more of it, but that's all they pretty much show here. But when you watch the movie, you can pause it and they bring out more information on that. So pretty much that's what these devils are trying to do. Now, this is 2 Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. These are the perilous times that they was talking about. The times that we're living in right now. And if your eyes are open, you can see it. This is Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, see, a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Now, it said the time of trouble. Now the time of trouble is mainly going to be upon Jake. You know, these other nations, they're going to feel it. But the main ones that's going to feel it is Jake. Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. But he shall be saved out of it. Because eventually the Lord's going to cut the time short. The two-thirds are going to die. But then when the kingdom is established, all of Israel is going to come back together in holy righteousness. All right. This is Revelation 3:10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. See, that's that hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. See, so this time here, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. Because this is our 2 Ezra 15:14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another. And that's happening. You know, you have race wars going on and people fighting against each other. You know, you have people down in Venezuela, you know, and don't be surprised if you're going to start hearing stuff in Brazil too, because Brazil is catching hell. You know, sticking each other up or killing each other to take a loaf of bread, you know, or a sandwich, you know, or a gallon of milk. You know, they're getting ugly, man. And swords in their hands. Modern day sword is a gun. For there shall be sedition among men. And that's what's happening. There is sedition among men. You know, there is a fighting. That once a peaceable way of living amongst people. You can go into the store and buy your stuff and nobody will rob you and none of that stuff. That's slowly but surely going out the door. Because it's going into a total chaotic and anarchy type of society, where everything is just being totally taken away from the norm, from what it used to be. So that peaceful way of life is being totally taken out. That's what the scriptures say. When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, and invading one another. See why? Because it's going to be for a lack of food. It says they shall not regard their kings nor princes. They ain't going to listen to the police. They ain't going to listen to the governors. They ain't going to listen to the presidents. They ain't going to listen to nobody. Why? Because that hunger, you know, when you get to the point where you're starving, you got to eat something. And all rationale goes out the window. You don't really think too clearly when you're starving, you're hungry. It says, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So they're going to make do with, you know, they're not going to listen to the government anymore, because the government always try to keep you calm and, you know, don't panic and this, that, and the other. But meanwhile, the people are starving. They're going to be like, man, fuck that, man. We got to do something, you know, and then they're going to start killing each other, going to, you know, you're going to see, you know, don't be surprised if you see people going up into these different government buildings and pulling them devils out just to be able to eat something, to be able to sustain themselves and survive. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled. So these devils are proud. So that now the time is coming for the Lord to trouble these cities. And 2/3 are proud, and the other nations. So the Lord is starting to bring that trouble to these cities. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. That's that hour of temptation, you know. And we'll get this other one. It says 2 Ezra 16:68, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And that's going to be when you go into these concentration camps. They're gonna feed Jake in there, but those things that they're gonna feed you are not going to be very pleasant. All you have to do is go during the time of Antiochus Epiphanes. He was making Israel eat pork, you know, eat that swine. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach. Why? Because if you obey this devil, you're going to die with this devil. And he's going to turn his back on you once he uses you and he doesn't need you anymore. And trodden underfoot. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. There's going to be a great cutting into those that fear the Lord. They're going to be slaughtering. There's going to be a slaughter out here, man. It's going to be a slaughterhouse. It's going to be shambles out here. But the shambles, instead of being animals, it's going to be people. You know, and cannibalism is happening down there in Venezuela. They show you that the movie The Road. They bring out cannibalism in the movie The Road. You know? It says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. They shall be then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold, as the gold in the fire. And the Lord, his elect, are always going to be protected and preserved. It says, hear ye, my beloved, saith Yahweh. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand. See, the days of trouble are at hand, Jacob's trouble. But I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide. So here, this guy here wrote about how the Running Man could be reality with President Trump. You know, and he goes on to say, 1987 sci-fi classic, hashtag the Running Man depicts in America in the now not too distant future of 2017. Following another worldwide financial crisis, the reality of this lifetime has people fixated on a hit TV show where convicted criminals are massacred to entertain the masses. So you notice within the last couple of years, they've been pushing that live feed heavy, you know? And when the people were watching, they were watching in real time. You know, when you watch that movie, they were watching in real time the actual killings of these people on these different screens that they were watching wherever they were at. Convicts are forced to run through a series of themed stages against stylized advisories in an unbalanced deathmatch of their destruction. Another movie that shows you that, but without the live feed and the people watching, is a movie Surviving the Game. That's with the Ice-T, you know, and they pretty much show you how they find certain Jakes and they hunt Jake. That's still going on to this day. You got people out, the Edomites, that go around, get homeless Jakes and pretty much pay them a certain amount of money, feed them, clothe them, put them up, and then they take them somewhere, promising them a job, and pretty much what they do is they chasing them out in the wilderness, in the forest, and hunting them down to kill them, you know? It says, in the year 2017, an innocent man has a choice, hard time or prime time. Cultural relativism is dead. Ideas censored, and the idea of liberty removed to a state of conformance and belittlement. People are categorized, controlled, and subdued to suit the narrative of the few. And who's the few? The international bankers. It's a messed up world with food shortages and riots. Minorities are forced to be subservient, and pretty much what they want Jake back in slavery. They want all nations in slavery, but mainly Jake, mainly the Israelites. That's why these devils do not want to put that Hebrew Israelites out there in the forefront, that the Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, because they know that. If we were so insignificant, it really didn't matter, then they would have us plastered all over the place, just like they have Islam plastered all over the place, Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventists, and all those other different groups. You know, so they don't. There's a reason why there's a blackout in the media about the Hebrew Israelites. It says, and there's a reason why you have an all-out assault on the truth. And that's why we're supposed to be the defenders of the gospel. There's an all-out assault on the truth. And the all-out assault on the truth is because they're trying to stop this word from going out, because they're seeing the fruits of the Lord's word going out and gathering his elect and gathering Israel back to the Lord. It says, while others struggle to comply in order to survive. Well, we have Schwarzenegger to save the day. That part of the movie is bullshit, you know. So pretty much that's it right there. You know how the Running Man could be reality with President Trump. And when I kept thinking about this movie, I didn't remember that the beginning text, you know, the opening text that it was the year 2017. I didn't remember that, you know. But then when I went and I just typed in a couple of words, I saw it. You know, so when I watched this brother's video, those are thoughts that were going through my mind. I said, you know what, let me just see if I could find some information, and then I could land back off the brother's video and give more edification on this thing, because this is going to be reality, man. You know, 72-hour countdown given to Venezuelans as real-life Hunger Games, blood sport come to reality TV, our human hunting parties next. And that's been about 3 days ago already, so this should be already in the mix, in the making by now. You know, so with that, you know, I hope you brothers learned something. Until the next time, I say shalom.